and I very much agree with the smart things that Heather and Raquel both said. It is really, in fact, hard to find just one takeaway because there are so many takeaways. But just to find something that's a little bit different, it's this kind of overall idea of it ain't over. And I don't mean it literally like right now Trump hasn't conceded. I don't mean that that isn't over. But what I mean is that this as Heather astutely said, this return to a more moderate, the bankability of more moderate candidates, both nationally and also locally, is really part of an overall larger pattern where you see this pendulum swinging back and forth in our country. You had 2 terms of George W. Bush, right? Then followed very quick, immediately by 2 terms of Obama, and then Donald Trump, which for conservatives was really arguably a reaction against Obama, and now we have a return to somebody more moderate. And so when I say it ain't over, I mean what may happen in 2024, right? And also one other way that gives me this takeaway is how numerically, I'm very happy that Biden won by a popular majority in addition to an electoral majority. But if you look at the scale of the popular majority, there's like less than 6 million vote difference, actually, right? So when you have, I think that we've all heard this, when you have 70 plus million people who voted for Trump still, and that's nearly half of the country, that supports this sort of argument that this pendulum is kind of in any time of change, it's going to kind of swing back and forth or zigzag back and forth a few times before it kind of stabilizes, if it does at all. So for me, the key takeaway is it ain't over just because Joe Biden got elected. So.
All right, fellow geek Jonathan, employing some math, calling out there's a larger denominator here, so a big margin might not be as big as it felt 4 years ago, as well as bringing in the physics concept of every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Thank you, Jonathan. Let's move to Harini.
I love the it ain't over, and I'll take that and go another place with it, which is you started off, Rebecca, by telling us how we made the record books, right, this year. Washington especially elected the most diverse, most representative legislature in I think in our state's history, right? We tripled the number of women of color who got elected. We talked about Marilyn Strickland, Twynia Nobles got elected to 28th, which was huge. And there are so many other role models, but it ain't over because I loved all the excitement leading up to the elections. I loved we couldn't doorbell this year, but you called and you wrote and you did all this work to mobilize, and it ain't over because the work starts now. We've got these incredible, talented leaders, and I'm Kamala Harris, of course, Vice President-elect Harris. We've got them a seat at the table now, and the work starts now. Right? They will bring their perspective to issues. They will bring their perspective and shed light on new challenges. So what I want us to leave in this conversation, one thing is stay engaged, continue to mobilize, keep doing the work because it ain't over.